What's up, everybody? How y'all doing? It is your girl, your diva and knowledge lady, Mocha. Represent Mocha's Cafe, Day Paris, where I'm always serving you wisdom, knowledge, and spiritual awareness. Big ups to all of my subscribers. I see all of y'all as family. So I want to give a big ups to my family. Want to give a big ups to all of my guys, my male subscribers who have been rocking with me, supporting my movement. Also want to give a big ups to all of the ladies who have been rocking with me, all of my sisters who have been supporting me through this journey since I started, this channel. I really appreciate all of y'all supporting me and still rocking with me. Those of you who have recently subscribed, I welcome you to Mocha's Cafe Day Paris family. If this is your first time here and you like what you hear on today's content, make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you also subscribe and you hit that notification bell so when I come up with any new content or any material, you will be the first to know about it. So moving on right away. I thought it was very imperative that I did this particular topic due to the fact that I am starting to notice that a lot of us as Black women, we're not making really good choices. We're not making really good choices when it comes to our future. We're not making really good choices when it comes to our lifestyle. We're making really poor choices. And the reason why I go in so hard on Black women is because if another brother was to do it, they're going to look at it like, oh, he's a man, he don't know what he's talking about, this and that, so what better way to let Black women know where they are going wrong by also being a Black woman. And as a Black woman, I can honestly say I have had challenges myself, trying to make positive decisions, trying to make better decisions so I don't become another statistic. And the problem is there are far too many of us that are as Black women that are not setting our own trend. We're too busy following the trends that are set before us. And the hardest truth is being able to deal with reality. And I really feel like we as Black women, we have a difficult time with facing reality. What's up to Titan? American Negro, Craig the tech guy, how you doing? I'm gonna tell you the truth raw with no condom. So nevertheless, I wanted to talk about this, why Black women are demoting themselves to be baby mamas. And the answer to it is not very technical. The problem is as Black women, a lot of us have been misguided. A lot of us have been misguided. And the first and foremost part of misguided has everything to do with how we were raised, our upbringing, and the type of women, the type of mothers who have given birth to us. Now, if you was a Black woman that was fortunate to be raised by a prominent Black woman, or a Black woman who has had substance, who has values, who has morals, 9 times out of 10, you would not fall in that statistic. But if you grew up in a household where you had a Black mother that had all type of dudes in and out the house, all of these dudes that was uncles, all of these dudes that was in and out your mom's home, these men were not your fathers. These men were not positive examples of being leaders, men that was just coming and going, especially if you had a mother that was very promiscuous. If you had a mother that lived that kind of lifestyle in front of you, it will become your norm. It will definitely become your norm. And the problem is, what has ruined a lot of us as Black women has everything to do with our upbringing. If you had a mother that was, like I said, very promiscuous, if she was the type of woman that didn't have any morals, she had all kind of dudes in and out y'all Section 8 housing all time of night. If you were raised in this type of environment, it becomes your norm. And I think the majority of the problems that has haunted us as Black women is the fact that we were raised in circumstances where we were taught that thought behavior is normal. We were taught that being a thought is normal. There's nothing wrong with having all kind of men coming in and out your apartment, smashing you, leaving your house after vampire hours, 12, 1 o'clock in the morning. A lot of Black women were raised in these type of households where you have Black mothers who saw nothing wrong with having all kind of men around their children. So that's the first biggest problem that has haunted a lot of us as Black women. A lot of us did not have good Black mothers. A lot of us were not raised by strong Black women. We were not raised by Black women who have morals or who have values. So if you were raised by a woman who carried herself in a very unwomanly like manner, you are most likely going to adopt all of those lack of womanly qualities. And that is the biggest problem. I mean, I look around now. The majority of these young Black women that are coming up into the world today, these young Black women that are in their middle 20s, slowly reaching their early 30s, if you check out their mothers, the type of women who raised them, it will tell you everything about their character. I know women now who are slowly approaching their 50s, and their 20 and 30-year-old daughters have already adopted their thought characteristics. What's up, Poetic? How you doing? Good to see you, boo. The truth is, a lot of us have been raised in some trifling circumstances. And especially, like I said, if you had the type of Black mother that, was a thought and been with all kind of men, and that's all you've seen the majority of your childhood, you're going to think it's normal. So I see that now. I know a couple of young women now that's in their middle 20s. Their mothers are going on 50, slowly approaching their 50s. And these grown, it's a lot of Black women. Y'all are not accepting the fact that y'all are not young anymore. Y'all are 50 years old, slowly going on 50, I would say. And you still around here going to the club. You still around here dressing like you 20 and 30 years old. And you're not understanding that your time has expired. You don't have it like that anymore. And the problem is that a lot of Black women, we have abused our youth. We have abused our youth. You started already having sex at the age of 12, 13. Your promiscuous behavior, it only enhances by the time you're 15, 16. So you already burnt out by the time you're 18 years old. It's a lot of young Black women who are not understanding right now in their life, in their prime, that these young Black women that are partaking in promiscuous behavior, and they're doing this at 16, 17, 18, they're going to burn themselves out before they even get 23, 24 years old. Kels, if you're not doing anything, I would be glad to bring you on board if you would love to join. I'll be glad to send you a link. As a matter of fact, I will send you a link anyway. And if you want to join me, you can. I'm gonna see if I can send you my link. But yeah, that's one of the biggest problems. And because of that, what I'm starting to notice now is a lot of these young Black women are already burning themselves out. They have already reached motherhood before they can reach womanhood. And that is one of the biggest issues within the Black community. We have a lot of young Black women that have not even fully developed into grown women, and they are already mothers. They're already mothers. They have already fallen into that statistic of poverty. They've already fallen to that statistic of being a single mother. And these are the same young women that's going to become those old 40, 50-year-old older Black women that's still going to be in the club twerking, still going to be in the club trying to drop it like it's hot, all because they have tainted their youth. And that is the biggest issue for us as Black women, that a lot of us have tainted our youth. You've tainted your youth. You have women that have already become mothers. These young Black women have already become mothers before they even graduated high school, before they even got a GED, before they even got their first job. And the sad part about it is, it's not even the young Black women that I'm blaming. I'm blaming the older Black women. I'm blaming the mothers. It is your fault. It is our fault, Black women, as to why young Black women are failing. A lot of y'all, lot of us as Black women, a lot of y'all are already grandmothers before you even hit your 40s. You are already a grandmother. Some of you are already great grandmothers before you even hit your 50s. And all of this is our fault because we have glamorized the struggle. We have taught our Black daughters that it's okay to be a single mother. All you got to do is get your food stamps, your housing, your Section 8, and you'll be straight. You don't need a father. A lot of older Black women have misguided their young Black daughters by telling them you don't need a husband because the system is going to provide you with everything that a husband is supposed to. What's up, my sister Sarah One? Good to see you, hun. A lot of Black women have already manipulated their daughters into believing you don't need a husband. And the reason for this is because the majority of older Black women are coaching their younger Black daughters not to get husbands because they don't have one. They don't have a husband. And a lot of them know, and the truth is, a lot of them know they too old, too ran through. They don't already hit the wall. They're not going to get a husband. So they're, unfortunately, they are already training their daughters to adopt the same mindset of, I don't need a man. And the only reason why I noticed that a lot of Black women will get to that point of saying, I don't need a man, is because you pretty much know you already burnt out. You too burnt out to even get a man that's going to take you serious at this point in life. You have already expired that point of hitting the wall. Section 8 sets you up to live in dilapidated housing around predators. Absolutely. I agree with that, my sister Sarah. What a lot of Black women are not understanding is that if you are already coaching and training your daughters, that you can get on housing, you can get on Section 8, you get on food stamps. They thinking they're teaching their daughters that they could live off the system, but what they're not understanding is they're setting their daughters up for failures. The system does not set Black women up to win. And I cannot understand for the life of me how a lot of these sisters out here are thinking they are winning because the system is giving them housing, the system is giving them food stamps, the system is giving them child support. That they really think the system has their best interests. And in actuality, the system is setting a lot of these Black women up for failure. Because what the system does not tell you is that, yeah, we're going to put you in housing, but we're not going to let you own that housing. Okay? Yeah, the system will put you in housing, but you will never own it, which means you're going to basically be prostituting to live off the system for the rest of your life, for the rest of your days until your youngest child becomes 18. Then you become disposable to the system. That's what a lot of these sisters are not understanding. And I've said this before on one of my contents a few years back. The system is nothing but a pimp. And all women who are living off the system, they are the prostitutes of that system. And what I mean by that, think about it. It's common sense. A prostitute depends on her pimp, right? Let's break down the science of this, because I know it does. I know some people it's not it's not registering, it's not marinating. If you are on the system, ladies, if you are getting welfare, if you are getting housing, if you're getting governmental housing, any of these devices that the system is giving you is basically used to prostitute you. Think about it. What does a pimp give a prostitute? A pimp will give a prostitute shelter. A pimp will give a prostitute food. The pimp will give the prostitute basic necessities, just enough to depend on. Notice the system does not provide Black women with something to where they will never need them again. The system intentionally has designed it to where Black women cannot survive being off of it. But the bad part is, just like a pimp can get rid of his prostitute whenever he wants to, guess what? The system has it signed up the same, has it designed the same exact way for Black women. When the system is ready to dispose of Black women, it will do that. The same way a pimp will dispose of his prostitute when he feels like she no longer has a purpose. That's the way the system is designed. Think about it. If the system has favor for Black women, why are they only paying for y'all rent? Why are they not paying for y'all mortgage? If for all of the women, all of these Black women who are living off of the system, you get what's called a voucher. First of all, let me break this down, because some people don't understand the way the system works. First of all, there's two different types of housing, okay? You have what's called governmental housing, and you have what's called Section 8 housing, okay? Both are not the same thing. Let me just put that out there, because you'll be surprised how many sisters are on the system and they don't really know nothing about the system. The only thing they know is when a certain amount of money hits their EPT card, or when the child support is deposited into their bank account. That's all they know about the system. Believe it or not, it's a lot of sisters that are depending on the system and they don't know anything about it. And it's the harsh reality. Now, back to what I was saying. Governmental housing, Section 8, is under the same branch, but they don't operate the same. Governmental housing means low income housing. That is when you live in the projects. I'm gonna break all of that down, Water Sniper. That's why I'm explaining the differences now, because a lot of guys and there's a lot of women who live off the system and they don't know the difference between the two. But governmental housing, that's the projects. Projects. Basically, when you live in the projects, your rent may be $10, $20 a month, depending on your income. Okay? All right? The way low income housing works is you have to recertify every so many months. I think it's six to six. I think it's every 6 months you got to recertify, or maybe now it's every year. I'm not sure, but you have to recertify. In other words, when you're in housing, they keep up with your business. You have to keep reporting what you make, what you're doing with your money, if you're getting more money. The thing about it is, when these women become a part of the system basically owns you. The system keeps up with you like it's your parent. Like I said, the system becomes your pimp, and you are the prostitute. Just like your pimp wants to know, what are you doing with your money? When am I going to get my cut? You've been standing on these street corners all night. I need my cut. I need my money. I need to keep up with what you're doing. Every pimp keeps up with his prostitutes, because that's how the pimp can keep up with his profits. That is the same way the system works with these welfare recipients. They keep up with these broads. They keep up with how much they make. They keep up with what they're doing with their money. Okay, absolutely. My sister brought up a point that I was going to say. And if you make too much money, the system is going to cut you off. That is the backlash of dealing with the system. In other words, the system doesn't want you to grow. The system doesn't want you to get better, because guess what? If you make too much money, the system feels like you don't need me. The system only wants to keep women that are failures. The system only wants to provide for black women that are failing. In other words, you can't be making no money. In other words, you got to be a single mama. You can't have a husband. You can't have a man. Basically, if you want to keep benefiting from the system, you have to want to keep failing. You have to stay in poverty. That is the only way the system is going to have your back. Once you try to grow and elevate yourself, it's going to bring you back down. It's going to get rid of you. The same way a pimp does his prostitute. If a pimp, think about it, a pimp is not going to let his prostitute keep but so much of the profit, even though she's the one laying on her back, even though she's the one that's giving the blowjobs. The pimp knows that if he lets his prostitute get too much of the profits, she's not going to need him. Then she's going to get rid of the pimp. That is the way the system works. Now, let me get back to this point and make sure y'all hit them thumbs up, because I know I'm spitting some real knowledge here. Now, back to the part about the housing and the Section 8. Because again, a lot of people think they're the same thing and they're not. Housing is the projects, meaning these girls may pay $10, $15 a month. All right. Then they pimp, because remember, the system is the pimp. Let's not dress this up. We're not going to call it the system. We're going to call it the pimp, because that's just what the hell it is. The system is pimping black women. It's making black women prostitute themselves to get the benefits. Now, the pimp keeps up with the prostitute, like the system keeps up with the single mother. It has every right every 6 months to come into your home and do what's called a housing inspection. Meaning that you don't get to tell these people, this is my goddamn house. I don't want y'all coming in here walking all up and through my house and peeping and digging through my stuff, seeing what I got going. These women do not live in luxury off of the system like a lot of y'all think. It's a lot of stuff they got to go through, because guess what? When you depend on the system does what it wants to do. Like if a prostitute depends on her pimp, guess what? That pimp can do what the hell he want to do to the prostitute. He can slap the hell out of her. He can kick her. He can piss on her. He can do whatever he wants, because she depends on him. The same way the black woman depends on the system. That's why the system does black women the way that they do us, because they know that we're needy. They know that we're not self-sufficient. They know we quit to go stand in a line and apply for their benefits. They know that. The system knows it has black women in bondage. And the sad part is a lot of us are not trying to escape the bondage. In fact, the truth is a lot of us have become comfortable with depending on the system, comfortable with becoming prostitutes to the system, because that is just what you're doing. What's up, Raw L? Good to see you, my Scorpio brother. Long time no see, Rael. Yeah, like I said, Rael, the system is like a pimp. Think about it. A pimp is not going to give his prostitute too much, because if he gives his prostitute too much, his prostitute is going to leave him. He's not going to make any money off of her if he gives her too much. The pimp will give the prostitute just enough to where she is still depending on him to a certain degree. That is the way the system works. The system knows that if they give these black single mothers too much, these women, there's a possibility these women could become successful and succeed and not need them. What's up, Reg the bad guy? For once you finally on my channel instead of me always being at yours. Thank you for stopping by. I appreciate it. Now, when I was talking about the governmental housing and Section 8, that's how governmental housing works. So anybody who lives in the projects, that's governmental housing. They only pay a certain amount a month. They get housing inspections, meaning these people come to your house any goddamn time they want and say, hey, if you want to keep getting these benefits, you got to let us come in your house. We got to make sure we got to see how you living. These people come in your house. They literally walking through your project housing. They're in your living room. They're in your kitchen. They're scoping what you got, because if they even feel like for a second you are living too lavishly, they gonna want you to produce some receipts. They gonna want to know how you afford this Rent-A-Center Section 8 sofa that's almost $1,200. How you afford to live this type of lifestyle. In other words, the system don't mind providing as long as you're in the struggle. Once you try to grow and once you try to move up a little bit, you try to better yourself a little bit, the system starts asking questions. Now, that is how governmental housing works. Section A housing, on the other hand, this is how Section A works. Section A, you don't have to live in the projects. Section A, you can go in a regular neighborhood, in a nice neighborhood, the neighborhood with nice houses that have 2-3 bedroom houses. And as long as the landlord who is over that house does not mind taking in a Section A recipient, you can actually live in that house compared to living in the projects. Sounds like a sweet deal, right? This is the catch-22 with that. What's up, V-Dub Boogie? What's up, Olo? Oh, okay, you're on your lunch break. I feel you. Well, you can just continue to be my cheerleader, Poetic Kales, as usual. Don't forget to hit those lights up, y'all. Now, this is the way it works with Section A housing. As long as the landlord is okay with you being a welfare recipient, he can let you stay in his house. Now, I will say this. Those people who are landlords, they're the ones who benefit off of Section A housing really more than the actual recipient, because at least Section A is going to make sure that landlord is getting their money every month. So it's not the sisters who's living off of the system that's benefiting. It's not the sister who's living in Section A that's benefiting. You know who's benefiting? The landlord is benefiting, because the black single mother that lives in that Section A housing, that is not her house. She does not own the shit. Okay, what's up, Miss Sassy? She does not own it. Okay, she is basically just a living resident. The landlord profits, because one thing about it, Section A is going to make sure they get their money every month versus a regular tenant. A regular tenant can sit up there and say, I don't have the money this month. My paycheck gonna be a little late, whatever. Landlords, they benefit off of black women who reside in their household to use it for Section 8, because the government is going to make sure that landlords get their check on time every month. Now, this is the way Section 8 works. The single mother may find a nice house. It may be a 2-3 bedroom house. She goes back to housing, welfare housing, and say, hey, I found this house here. The rent is like $800 a month. What's going to happen is Section 8 is going to give her what's called a Section 8 voucher. And the way the Section 8 voucher works is Section 8 voucher will say, okay, we're going to front you $500 every month. Okay? That means the $300 that's left over, that's all the hell she got to pay. That's why it looks like to people who don't get welfare, it looks like these black women are getting over. It looks like they living lovely. It looks like they are living a good life. But it's a catch. It's a catch-22. Yeah. Section A is paying $500 of it, and all she has to pay is $300. But guess what? It's not her shit. It's not her house. Who's pimping who? Who's winning? My sister says Section 8 pisses me off. The landlord overcharges the people who are paying full rent and lets the Section 8 people run the places down. I won't run from anywhere that accepts Section 8. Yeah, and believe it or not, a lot of these landlords are catching on to it. So some of these landlords, they're not taking any Section 8 recipients anymore because they realize it's not worth the aggravation. When you got a female this a single mother who got unruly ass 4 or 5 badass babies kids coming into your nice home that you renting out to her, scribbling up the walls, hanging on the damn chandeliers, done messed up your damn bathroom. It's just too much money. A lot of landlords, they will not deal with Section 8 because even though the money is guaranteed, they don't want the aggravation that comes with it. But my point is this. Eventually, the landlord, as long as he owns it, he can always get rid of her. But this is the bad part. This is the other part about housing that a lot of y'all don't know, and y'all think these women are living good. If she messes up in Section 8 housing, she will get evicted. In other words, if she has other people sleeping in her house that don't need to be there, that landlord can report her and have her moved out, and she can lose her Section 8 altogether. A lot of these women, they're not realizing they are being held captive because Section 8 and housing has so many rules up the ass. These females cannot do what the hell they want to do. You know why? Because it's not your shit. It's not your house. So if a lot of these landlords, they know these single mothers are supposed to be single mothers, right? These landlords, they know that. They know these women are not supposed to have no man staying with them, not supposed to have no man living with them. So what do you think happens to the single mother who decides she wants to move in Pookie in her Section 8 housing? What do you think happens? I tell you what happens. Depending on what kind of landlord she got, he can go and report her and get her put out, get her evicted. Not only that, what's up, we on fire? Not only that, if her badass baby's kids is tearing up everything in their house, he has the right to put out and evict her. 9 times out of 10, what a lot of these females don't understand is when you live in a Section 8 housing and you're renting out from somebody else, these landlords have neighbors who watch their house. The landlord may pay somebody across the street and say, look here, if she has a man or if she has too many men in and out her house, whatever, call me and let me know. These landlords be having these females that's living in their house off of Section 8. They will report these females if these single mothers break any rules. They report them. They report them to their caseworker. And guess what? The caseworker is going to go 9 times out of 10. The caseworker is going to go by what the landlord says. So if you just have a nasty ass landlord that already don't like you and just waiting for you to do something dumb, all they got to do is report you. And guess what? One thing about women who mess up on Section 8, once they lose it, they cannot get it back. There is no do-over. That's what I'm saying. Section 8, the system does not have Black women's best interests. And for any of these Black women that are living off the system and who believe in that, I see I got 12 likes and I know it's 23 people in here. Please make sure y'all hit the likes. It's not going to cost y'all nothing to hit the likes. I appreciate it. Because you have people who come on YouTube day in and day out and talk about foolishness, and they get all the support in the world. They get all the likes up. They get all the thumbs up. So please make sure you respect the diva in knowledge and hit those likes. I would really appreciate it. Thank you. So back to this point in case. So a lot of these women who live off of this system and they're not realizing is that they're keeping themselves in poverty. They're keeping themselves in bondage. Once these children turn a certain age, the pimp discards of them. Think about it. A pimp is not going to keep a prostitute once she turns 50, 60 years old. He doesn't have a purpose for her anymore. By then, she's old and ran through. There's an expiration date. When you are being prostituted, your pimp has an expiration date. That is the same way the system works. The system, at some point in time, they are going to get rid of you, whether you want to believe that or not. And what's going on now is the rules have become tighter now. You can't have a man living with you and you're living off of Section 8. The system finds out about it. They find out he's getting mail there. They finding out, he's actually moved in, and like I said, he's getting mail and things of that nature, you can lose your apartment. And you can lose your house. And it amazes me how a lot of these women will scream, I'm an independent woman. If you are living off the system in any shape or fashion or form, you are not an independent woman at all. If you're paying rent raw, no condom, no government assistance, then yes, you are independent. Thank you, We're on Fire Weldon. Well, no, We on Fire Weldon says you are talking facts. Absolutely. So I don't know where we as Black women get off and say, I'm an independent woman. I don't need nobody. Well, I guess you don't. Not if the government is supplying your housing. Not if the government is giving you food stamps to put food on the table. And what has happened is, this is why I'm doing this content. Why Black women are demoting themselves to be baby mamas. You know why? Because with being a baby mama, the perks are easier to get. But the thing is, the perks don't last long. It's easy to be a baby mama. Anybody can be a baby mama. It does not take special tricks. It does not take being educated. Anybody can be a baby mama. Anybody can lay there and spread their legs open and let a man bust up in them and get pregnant and be a baby mama. That is easy to do. It does not take a lot of work. It does not take a lot of effort into being a baby mama. What takes effort is being a wife. And this is what a lot of Black women are not understanding. What a lot of Black women are not understanding is that you can always choose a baby daddy, but you can never choose a husband. A husband has to choose you. And that is the truth of the matter. And this is the reason why a lot of us as Black women have demoted ourselves to be baby mamas, because we have already made up in our minds that we are not chosen material. We know that we're not chosen. Because if you felt as a Black woman that you are chosen, that you are of quality and substance, you're not going to settle to be just a baby mama. You're not going to. The reason why a lot of us as Black women have learned to demote ourselves to be baby moms is because we don't see any values within ourselves. We don't see any morals within ourselves. We don't love ourselves enough, because any Black woman who loves herself enough will not let just any man skeet up in her so she can get a check. She will love herself enough to want a man to be her husband, to help her raise that child, to help her build that child, to build a foundation, to actually have a home together, to actually build a legacy together. Any Black woman that has any self-worth or any value worth of herself, that is what she's going to strive for. She's not going to be comfortable with just being a baby mama. She's not going to be comfortable with 5 or 6 of her kids got different last names. None of them have the same DNA. And it amazes me how I hear other Black women coaching other Black women that, what's the big deal with having a husband? So what? That don't make you special because you have a husband. Oh, so you mean to tell me it's better for me to settle to be a baby mama than to be somebody's wife? You telling me I should settle? And this is not to say that just because you're a Black married woman, you're not going to have trials. You're not going to have tribulations. It does not guarantee that your life is going to be perfect because you married somebody. Yes, you can get married and things can still go wrong. I'm not going to paint a beautiful picture and say that only if you're married, you're going to get a wonderful life. Because the truth is, not all Black women are marriage material. Let's talk about that too. Just because you get a ring on your finger, that does not make you marriage material. But what amazes me is that you have a lot of Black women who wait after they have children and say they're ready to be a wife. Who does that? Why do y'all wait after you have children? I know 3 or 4 of them, I can say it right now. Now they ready to be a wife. 3 kids later. I know 3 of them I can say right now who got pregnant from some pookies who evidently didn't see any value in you, because you wouldn't be a single mother if he saw any value in you to marry you and wife you and build with you. They get pregnant by these better males, these society rejects, these pookies. Now they're ready for a cleanup man. Now they're ready for a Captain Sable. Now they're ready for a man to come into their life and pick up the pieces where Pookie done failed them. My thing is, why do we wait? What's up, Third Ward? Why do we wait till 3, 4, 5 kids later? Now we ready for a husband. It is not fair for another man who has made responsible choices, who has not laid with every Keisha, Kim, and Kiki, who don't have children all over the place. It's not fair for a man who made who made the best decisions and was responsible with his life to come in and help you clean up your mess. It is not fair. And I don't recommend a woman doing it either. If you are a woman who's always handled your business and you don't have baby daddies, I don't recommend you having a child from a man who already has multiple children from other men. I don't recommend women doing it either. If you have been responsible and you ain't been around here breeding roaches like children, you don't need to be getting with somebody else who up here done breeding a lot of children like roaches. Why would you want to take on that type of responsibility? But as back to what I was saying, why do we as Black women, why do reality only sink in 3, 4 kids later, 2, 3 baby daddies later? Now you want someone to come into your life and step up and be a stepdad. And I find that truly, it amazes me how so many of us as Black women, we are continuously doing this. Why do we only want husbands 3, 4 kids later? Now you want your children who you had from Pookies, now you want them to be blessed with father figures. And like I said, it's easy to become a baby mama. Anybody can become a baby mama. And the harsh reality is a lot of Black women, we have been deceived. We have been deceived. We have been lied to. We have been lied to by older women in our family telling us that because we look a certain way, we are automatically entitled to getting a certain type of man. We've been fed lies. We've been told that you need to go after a man who got money. When the truth is, a lot of us are not even qualified when it comes to dealing with men with money. All women are not qualified to deal with men that are of high value. But we have been lied by women in our families. We've been lied by our girlfriends in the street, friends who don't know no more than we do. We have been told that we are so valuable, we deserve a certain type of man. And the truth is, a lot of us don't deserve a certain type of man. Every woman does not deserve a man that's a lawyer, that's a doctor, that's an athlete. All women are not deserving of successful men. Like all men are not valuable when it comes to certain type of successful women. But even more so, all women do not deserve successful men. If anything, women who end up with successful men who don't deserve them, if anything, she will corrupt him. She will make him. She will make him lose everything that he has taken years to build. She will destroy him. She will take him down. What's up, Dangerous Television? And this is just the truth. As I stated, a lot of Black women have been taught to believe that they are winning by depending on the system. The system is intentionally setting Black women up for failure. It's setting Black women up to lose because you got your housing, you got your food stamps, you get your child support. Now that you have all of those things, but guess what? It still does not take the place of a husband. All it does is supplies you with resources, but it does not supply you with the husband. And this is the harsh reality. These same Black women who will sit up here and act like I don't need a man. I'm content. I don't need no man in my life. I can do it by myself. I don't need him. You're saying all of that, but there comes a point you're going to get in situations that the system can't fix. The system can't supply you with everything. contrary to what many may not believe, the system cannot supply Black women with everything. There are just some things that you need from a Black man that a system cannot supply you with. You need you. I'm not saying that if you don't have a man, you less of a woman. But what I'm saying is having a real solid man in your corner who loves you and cares about you, who really supports you, who wants to build with you, you can't put a price on that. Welfare cannot supply you with that. When you stressed out, you overwhelmed. And this is the other thing. This is the other thing. This is the reason why so many Black women have bad attitudes. The reason that a lot of us as Black women have bad attitudes is because we're overwhelmed. We're frustrated with the poor choices that we make. That is one of the biggest issues. When I hear people say, oh, Black women, we got an attitude. Black women, they always tripping, they got an attitude. No, she don't have an attitude. It's called, I'm angry with myself. That's what it's called. We're not going to dress it up and call it an attitude. She's angry with herself. She's angry with the decision she made. She's angry with the baby daddies that she chose. She's angry that she chose to live off the system instead of making better decisions in which she would not have to live off the system. She's angry with herself. It's not an attitude. So when I'm in the presence of certain Black women and I feel they always holding a grudge, they'll always have an attitude, I already know what it is. I don't even entertain it. A lot of Black women are angry. And it's easy to take it out on other Black men and say, I'm angry because I'm doing it all by myself. But what you're not saying is why you didn't take the proper precautions in which you would not have to do it all by yourself. That is the part that I cannot seem to fathom. As a Black woman, you already know just being a Black woman by itself is already a challenge within itself. So why for the life of me would you put yourself in a predicament in which you are laying with all kind of random men? You're getting impregnated by men that are not your husbands. And now you're going around here talking about how all Black men ain't SHIT. So what does that make you? If all of your baby daddies ain't SHIT and those are the men who you chose to sleep up with, what does that say about you as a Black woman? What does that say about you as your character? You can't keep picking up the same kind of men and then you want to sit up here and say there's something wrong with all of them. And you take no accountability. And that has been our biggest kryptonite. Black women, we do not take accountability. There's nothing wrong with saying, you know what? I should have never fucked that man. I knew he wasn't in love with me. I knew he didn't have any respect for me. I knew he already had a wife. I knew he already was treating me like trash. He wasn't even dependable as a boyfriend. He would never be on time just for us to go on a date. Why did I choose to become pregnant by him, knowing he wasn't even a good boyfriend, let alone now making him a good father? Why have we not come to that point? There's nothing wrong with saying, I put my dumb ass in this predicament. I know the man was not feeling me. I know the man only wanted me for sex. I know the man was not trying to wife me. What's wrong with being honest and calling it out for what it is? And until, as Black women, till we get to that point and we take accountability, we're going to continue to make the same mistakes over and over and over. The first thing to change is admitting where you went wrong. And a lot of us don't do that. Why you think you're on your third, fourth, fifth baby daddy now? Because you don't think you was wrong for the first baby daddy. You don't think you was wrong with the second baby daddy. You don't think you was wrong with the third baby daddy. You don't think you was wrong with the fourth baby daddy. You don't think you was wrong with the fifth baby daddy. But now you saying all men ain't shit. And this is the mindset that we as Black women have adopted. And we wonder why we keep ending up on the losing end. How many more dicks got to run through you by the time it registers that I have no value? Black women, we are at a state of an emergency. And then when you feel like men ain't good enough for you, now you going with women. Then you get with women, that don't work either. Trying all this new stuff out, but until you change your mindset, until you change the way that you live and your lifestyle, you're going to constantly be spinning wheels. You're not going anywhere. A lot of us as Black women, we are spinning wheels. We're not growing. We have not reached that next level. But these are the same Black women who will come on YouTube and build these movements and these platforms talking about how all Black men ain't this, and Black men ain't shit, and Black men are dogs, and Black men. But you are the one who's choosing to lay with these Black men. You had your children from these Black men that you complain about. But it wasn't enough for you as a woman to protect yourself. That's why I had my biggest problem with sisters. I'm going to tell you my biggest problem with sisters. My biggest problem with sisters is that when things go left, they are quick to blame the man when you as the woman, you had the first decision to decide if you was going to lay with that man or not. You own your vagina. I'm gonna say this again to all the Black women, to those of you way in the back. You do know you own your vagina, right? You do know you own it. You do know that you decide who you let in it, right? You decide who you allow in your vagina. You decide who you allow to impregnate you. You as a woman, you have to protect your vagina at all times. That is not the man's decision to protect your vagina. That is your vagina. Ladies, your vagina is your friend. Your vagina is supposed to be your best friend. You're not going to let anybody just pound on your best friend, are you? You're not going to let anybody just slap your best friend around, are you? Black women, we need to protect our vaginas like we protect our hair weaves. Protect your vagina like you protect those child support payments that come on your card every month. Protect your vagina. Stop allowing every man to visit her. It's our fault because we have the power with our vaginas. Unless you have been raped, then that's not your fault. Unless you've been held at gunpoint, then that's not your fault. But when you willingly bring a man to your house and you pull your panties down and you let a man insert his penis inside of your vagina, that means that you were comfortable with allowing that man to enter your vagina. So just because the results didn't come out the way you want, you thought you was going to be able to trap the man, you thought you was going to be able to keep the man, whatever it was you was trying to do, which is what made you give up the vagina, now that it has backfired and it didn't work out the way you thought it is, you want to tell your side of the story and you want to sit up here and talk about how all men ain't this or all men ain't that. Exactly. Read some of y'all comments. Rael says women know within the first 2 minutes of meeting a man whether they will have sex, and it's not based on character. They've been saying this for years. They know exactly who they want to deal with. Absolutely. I cannot argue that point. When a woman meets a man, she's already decided that she's going to sleep with him or not. But the thing about it is, you can choose to sleep with whoever you want, ladies, for whatever reason. But you don't get to choose the outcome. You don't get to choose how things are going to go from there. And you can't get upset. You can't get mad with the results of it because you chose to take it there. This is the reason why, Black women are demoting themselves to single mothers because they don't feel valuable enough to perceive themselves as wives. And that's their fault. When you're going around being promiscuous, having all type of, sex, with all type of men, None of these men are your husbands. None of these men are in a relationship with you. None of these men are trying to build anything with you. You make yourself hit the wall before you even get in your 30s. And this is the reason why we are at a state of an emergency. It's time for us as Black women to stop making excuses for it. To stop always pointing the fingers, playing a blame game. It's not going to get you anywhere. You have to, the only way as Black women, or the only chance we stand is you have to get tired of your circumstances. As Black women, as a Black woman, you got to get tired of having all kind of random dudes just, you know, bust your back and bust your back out. You got to get tired of that. You got to get tired of laying on your back with all kind of dudes that is not promised to be with you. You got to get tired of having multiple children from multiple men who don't really want to be a father to your children that you have from them. And this is another thing. There's far too many Black women that are having kids from men who got multiple children. Why are you put yourself in that predicament, sis? Why would you want to have a child from a man who already has 4 or 5 baby mamas? Why do you want your child to have to end up being another collection on the plate? Let me see some of y'all comments. What's up, Rollo? Good to see you. My sincere says Spike Lee tried to tell us, but people got mad. He literally said we could get the man to do better if we stop giving up the cookies, but people got mad at him. Absolutely, because what has happened is this is the reason why a lot of Black women get offended by stuff like that, because what has happened is this is what has happened. The reason why Black women got offended when Spike Lee made that statement about if Black women would just stop giving up the cookies, that they could get Black men, is because majority of, and if it doesn't apply, you don't have to reply. I'm not saying all Black women do this, but the majority of us have used our cookie to get what we want, and that's the problem. And for Spike Lee to say, if you would stop using that to get what you want, now we're at a disadvantage, because what has happened is a lot of Black women have learned to use us between their legs, but they don't use us between their ears. And the problem is when you stop using what's between your legs, now you have to actually use your brain. And that, believe it or not, that's very difficult for some of us. That's very difficult. Telling some of these Black women to stop using what's between your legs, now that means I have to actually goddamn think for once. What's up, Malcolm Jackson? That means I have to actually use my mind. And the problem is, some of us as Black women, we have used our vaginas for so long, we don't know how to use our minds anymore. We don't know how to use it. The problem is the vagina has always been the weapon that women have used. But let me tell you something. I'm going to be honest, Black women. Our vaginas are the reason why a lot of us have failed. Our vaginas have done us more harm than help because of how we have used it and abused it. Don't listen to this, pussy empowerment about no walk, because there's no more pussy empowerment. It does not exist anymore. The only way you can have power over something is if everybody can't use it. The value of the vagina has depreciated because too many women are using it. It has devalued. The only way the vagina would have been powerful if so many sisters wasn't giving it up to any and everybody. And I don't mean not giving it up to your man. If y'all in a relationship and you're trying to prove a point and not having sex with him just to retaliate, that's a whole nother story. I'm talking about you randomly just passing out your vagina like bus transfers. This is the problem. There is no pussy empowerment. Do not let Cardi B or Megan Thee Stallion tell you that. These females that are telling you that, Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion, they don't live in Section 8 housing. Okay? They don't get child support and food stamps. So stop listening to these sisters preach this pussy empowerment because they're not in poverty like you. If there was vagina empowerment, then why we have so many single mothers? If it was that much pussy power, why is there such a high percentage of black single mother households? If it's that powerful, then why are we by ourselves? I would like for somebody to answer that question. So where's the power in it? Where's the power in the vagina? Where's that? Where are we winning, black women? Where are we winning? Let me know. Do you have a Bentley parked in your Section 8 garage? No problem, American Negro. If it had that much power, why you got to fight to get child support from your 3, 4 baby daddies? If it's that much power in the vagina, why they not just giving you the money? Why you got to go to caseworkers and fight to make him to pay you child support if there's that much power in your vagina? Or at the strip club. Well, yeah. But hell, even they getting paid. A lot of these females around here, getting impregnated and having multiple children ain't getting paid. Ain't getting no child support, ain't getting nothing. They struggling. If there's power in the vagina, you shouldn't have to live in Section 8 housing. You shouldn't have to live in low income housing. You shouldn't be struggling. If anything, let me tell you what has happened. Black women, we have gotten more poverty behind our pussy than health. We're in poverty. We're struggling. You know why? Because too many of us done put it out there. There's no value in it. Men do not value the vagina anymore, and that's our fault. Think about it. Remember when those Popeyes chicken sandwiches first came out? Remember when everybody was on the Popeyes chicken sandwich craze? Remember how they had the lines lined up from here to Afghanistan? Remember when those chicken sandwiches first came out with Popeyes? Everybody had to have one, right? Remember how popular it was? You don't hear about Popeyes chicken sandwiches hardly anymore, do you? You know why you don't hear about the chicken Popeye sandwiches anymore? Because everybody has had one. The value has depreciated. Nobody cares anymore. Same way with the vagina. The vagina has become like Popeye's chicken sandwiches. Everybody done had one. Nobody is curious about it like that. And men know they can easily get it. They don't care. Anything you can easily get, the value does not mean anything. And people cannot easily just go out there and buy a Rolls Royce. You can't easily just go out there and get a Bentley. You have to have a certain level of prestige, and you definitely have to have a certain amount of money to get vehicles on that type of level. So that is why when you do see somebody driving a Porsche, when you do see somebody who's driving a Bentley or a Rolls Royce, you automatically know whoever driving that, they got to be rolling in the dough. Because you don't see no 8, 9 Rolls Royce at your nearest liquor store. You don't see them in and everywhere, right? You know why? Because the value of those type of vehicles. Like I said, the vagina, there's no value in it. Don't let Cardi B or Megan Thee Stallion tell you ain't no such thing as WAP anymore. It does not exist. We lost it. We lost it a long time ago. We've been lost our value. Guess what? It's not the men's fault. That's our fault. Y'all around here back paging it up. Backpage made the value of the vagina depreciate. Instagram made the value of the vagina depreciate. Facebook made the value of the vagina depreciate. Pornhub made the value of the vagina depreciate. It doesn't mean anything anymore. Now, it don't mean that some men are still not going to take it. Yeah, exactly. It's the fans only. The fans only don't really make the value of the vagina depreciate. And then on all of this is the reason why, unfortunately, we as Black women have demoted ourselves to single mothers. We have not given men anything different to make them see us different. We have not produced anything special of value to make you stand out from other women. Thank you, Red Mike Radio, for the $2 donation. I appreciate it, sir. We haven't offered anything that makes us stands out above the rest. The only thing the only thing we can't offer to another man that another woman can't really offer, and that's being a wife. That's what a lot of Black women are not understanding. If you stand any chance of getting something valuable, of getting in something or somewhat meaningful, the only way you can do that is by being a wife. A wife has way more to offer than a baby mama. A baby mama cannot offer another Black man nothing but a goddamn headache. That's the only thing a single Black mother can offer a Black man is a headache. Other than that, she has no purpose. She has nothing to offer him. When you are a wife, there's so much more that you can offer a man when you are a wife. Being a wife means offering support. Being a wife means offering love, offering understanding, being his peace. There's so many things a wife has to offer other than just being a baby mama. Baby mama, the only thing you can offer a man is visitation with his kids and some damn food and some damn you know headaches. That's about it. Thank you, DT, for the $5 donation. DT says you forgot those smart toys. Let me see. Obliterating their juice box, decreasing her sexual sensation. That's a very valuable point you made. To go in that direction, because you did bring up something very interesting. The problem is a lot of Black women have also overly sexualized themselves. And this goes back to what I mentioned before. Black women who have been very promiscuous at a young age, at 12, 13, 14, she has already overkilled her sex drive before she even makes it to her 20s. So the majority of the time, women who have started off being sexual at a very young age, they overly sexualize themselves to the point to where now a man ain't good enough. Now you dealing with women. You have a lot of them, they don't even want to deal with men no more. You know why? Because they done had so much dick, they're tired of it. Dick don't even stimulate them no more. So now you have had women who have had to resort to getting sexual pleasure from women. And when that don't work, when they get tired of women sexually pleasing them, now they have to resort to toys. So that's definitely that's definitely the truth. You brought up a very significant point. When a woman has been had too much, her vagina tends to lose its sensation, and she has to keep reaching other levels to be stimulated. So that's very, very true. Especially when her wall has been hit too many times, when her wall has been infiltrated by too many different types of penises, the body starts to become confused. The body doesn't know how to respond to certain stimulations because it's just been too many different things, too many foreign things that have entered that vagina. So the vagina is now confused. That's why you have some women, they cannot climax. And as a man, you may be feeling bad, like, okay, I can't get my woman off. It's not easy for me to stimulate her. It may not be you. You may be with a woman that has overly sexualized herself, so she has lost all her nerves in her vagina. So that's very true. Mocha, they want to be by themselves in order to get money from the systems and do what they want to do. Absolutely. Olo Demre says, Mocha, don't you work in the court system or something like that? I think you're speaking from what you've seen firsthand. Yeah, I'm a correctional officer. So yeah, so a lot of these things, I kind of, I already kind of hear about and know about. But absolutely, when a woman has been tampered with too many times, too many men have entered your body, your vagina starts losing certain nerves. And it needs a whole new it needs a whole nother level of stimulation. And after a while, it loses all nerves. It don't matter what toys you get. It don't matter if now you're messing with a woman. Now you're doing threesomes. Now you're doing all this other stuff. You still can't find no sexual stimulation. And that comes from partaking in promiscuous sexual behavior. That's what it comes from. And another thing is this. A lot of people, and this is another thing with black women, what a lot of black women don't understand, we have to be more careful than men when it comes to our bodies sexually. And this is the reason why. By nature, women, we are receivers sexually, meaning that when a man enters inside our body, he leaves something behind. Okay? Women, whatever we leave on a man, it's not going into him internally as much as it is going internally into us. We are the receivers. So with that being said, when you have all of these different men that are entering your body, understand that each man has his own DNA. And all DNAs do not intermix with the chemicals of your vagina. So even if you douche, even if you wash yourself, that man is still leaving his fluids inside of your vagina. It takes at least maybe 2 to 3 days by the time his fluid is completely out of your system. It may even take up to a week. Okay, so when you have these men entering your body, realize that not only is his fluids transferring inside of your vagina, you have what's called spiritually demonic transfers. Okay, and this is for all my people who can perceive things from a deep spiritual perspective. You have what's called spiritual transfers. And that's why you have to be very mindful how many people you sleep with, because every time you sleep with someone, you build what's called soul ties. Okay? You build soul ties, meaning that person is spiritually joined to you forever. Even though y'all might have met each other one time at that Motel 6, Saturday night, 2, 3 in the morning. It may have only lasted for 45 minutes, but guess what? That soul tie is attached to you. You build a soul tie, a spiritual soul tie. Yeah, and it's not good for women to constantly douche. But even worse, you get soul ties that become attached to you. And the soul ties is more dangerous to me than STDs and other things of that nature. And this is not to say STDs are something that we should not worry about, because you should not be having all type of random sex, especially black women, because it's affecting our population more than anybody's population. Black women, we are number one in the running when it comes to getting all of these sexually transmitted disease. And not only that, we're getting what's called soul ties. Not only you got to deal with STDs, you got the other STDs, soul ties demonic. Soul ties demonic. That's the other STD. And these demonic soul ties, you cannot get rid of them. And you wonder why you have all these different damn mood swings, because you carrying all of these different spirits inside of you. Whenever you have a sexual attachment with somebody, that person becomes spiritually attached to you. So if that person is struggling with different type of demons, his demons is going to attach with your demons. And here comes the soul ties. Here comes that that demonic spiritual attachment. A lot of people don't want to think that way. A lot of people don't want to think that deep. But you have to realize, all of these different people you done slept with, you still carrying soul ties from people you slept with 20 years ago. People you haven't even seen. People that's probably dead now. But if you have slept with them, you have gained a soul tie attachment. And soul ties attachment are just as dangerous as STDs, sexually transmitted diseases, gonorrhea, syphilis, AIDS. But basically, we definitely have to do better. I had to go in today because, again, there are just far too many Black women. We are demoting ourselves to be baby mamas. And the reason why the majority of y'all are doing it is because, for one, y'all want to become codependent on the system. And what a lot of you sisters are not understanding is, yes, right now you think you're getting by because the system is giving you everything that you can't get rightfully from a husband. The system is giving you housing. The system is giving you food on the table. The system is basically providing for you. And even though right now you may feel like you're getting over, what you're not understanding is the system is keeping you on bondage. The system is designed to keep you dependent on them. Because my thing is, if the system had any best interest for you, why are they paying for your rent? Why is the system not designed to help you buy a home where they can help you pay for your mortgage? So by the time your children become 18 years old, you have a permanent place of your own that you actually own. Why is the system not designed to help you to not need a system anymore? It's nothing but an attachment. My sister says, y'all ever see women fighting each other over, you ever see, I can't read y'all. You ever see women fighting each other over a man? Soul ties lead you to do some crazy shit. Like the lady who just recently ran over her man and hit him with the bumper of the car. Absolutely. Absolutely. And the thing about it is, and the problem with Black women is we already don't feel valuable enough. And the reason why a lot of us don't feel valuable enough because we have made ourselves unvaluable. You go around here raw dogging all type of dudes. Now you got 2, 3 baby daddies. You don't depreciate it in value. So now when you get any kind of man who is willing to deal with your depreciated vagina, you willing to fight and do whatever you can to hold on to them because you know your choices are limited. Whenever a woman has to get to the point where she has to run a man over and kill him, evidently, you don't feel worthy of yourself. You don't feel like you can do any better than that. For you to sacrifice your freedom, your life, were you willing to run over a man and kill him? The man ain't even your husband like that or whatever. That just lets me know that's your psyche. You don't think you valuable enough to where you can walk away and leave him and God won't bless you with somebody better? Won't reward you for all the hell you went through? You don't think God is going to supply you with somebody better to the point you willing to run and kill a man? Yeah, and this is the psyche of a lot of Black women. That's why they be in the streets scrapping and fighting each other, pulling out each other hair bundles with no drawers on. They fighting with no drawers on. They fighting in the street with their kids standing around watching them snatch each other wigs and stuff off. And whenever I see black women carry themselves in this manner, and they both beating up on each other, they both physically attacking each other, and they both are, hurting each other, it just comes from the fact both of y'all don't see any value in yourselves. 9 times out of 10, they fighting over Pookie. They ain't fighting over no man that's a lawyer or an attorney who works on Wall Street. He don't work on Wall Street. He work on the street. He an undercover. He a low budget, drug boy. He ain't even a real drug dealer. He a drug boy. They be fighting over these Pookies and these Ray Rays because they know they don't have any other options. They will fight over a Pookie before they be woman enough to see their worth and say, you know what, I'm going to let Pookie go and I'm going to move on with my life until I get something better. No, they going to fight over these Pookies because black women don't feel like they can do no better. And guess who fault that is? It's ours. It's ours. I don't blame the men for it. Pookie just being Pookie. Pookie gonna do what it do. To all the black ladies, if you want black women, you don't mind Pookie driving your Toyota Camry around all day, burning your gas out, pick you up from work with a gas light on, even though he ain't got no job, and he Netflix and chilled on your Rent-A-Center furniture, sectional sofa all night, your air mattress, then that's on you. I don't knock Pookie. It ain't Pookie fault. Pookie just being Pookie. That is Pookie's job. Pookie takes advantage of vulnerable women who lack low self-esteem. While you working all day, Pookie is sneaking Kiki in your house and banging Kiki out on your air mattress. While you at work paying the bills and picking Kiki up in your Toyota Camry. Picking you up late from work. You created that monster. When your vagina has depreciated in value, you become desperate. You'll pick up anything. Exactly. A man is going to do what you allow. Pookie just being Pookie. Everybody want to call Pookie out, but that's her fault. Y'all the ones who letting Pookie sneak in and live off of y'all Section 8 housing, knowing y'all not even supposed to have any men staying over there or living in Section 8 housing. Y'all who are doing that? We are doing that, black women. We are the ones that are doing that. We are letting Pookies live off us. We are letting Pookies drink all the kids' Capri Suns, eat all the Cheetos, all the kids' food off the EPT card, all the little Debbies and the honey buns. That's your Pookie. Because you know you done already hit the wall. You don't feel like you can do any better at this point. And old song of Betty Wright. A man is better, a piece of man is better than no man at all. That's the concept. This is the mindset that black women have demoted themselves to. Y'all let these Pookies and the guys that are worth something, the guys that got careers, that got jobs, that got their own cars, these are the dudes y'all like to dog. Y'all want to dog the good dudes and y'all want to give the thugs a chance. The thugs are the ones that y'all are humble to. The thugs are the ones that y'all are submissive to. Y'all don't take thugs through all the changes that y'all take the good men through. And then when you tired of Pookie running through you, now you tired. Now you ready for a good man to want you. Because you tired of Pookie. Pookie beating on you, cheating on you, making you look older than your age. You 24, round here looking like you 54. Because Pookie don't put you under so much stress and heartache. It's our fault. Black women, this is what we are choosing. This is the path that we chose. We can't get in our feelings because now Pookie done ran through you and used you up. Now Pookie done moved on to peaches. That's our fault. Yep, a lot of that. Yep. And now you got a lot of black women, they're starting off early. I know some who only in their 20s and already got 3 and 4 children from 3 or 4 different Pookies. Some The majority of black women, they starting off thought behavior, they're starting it early. Hell, you got some of them that starting thought behavior at 13 years old because they don't have mothers that's sitting up there protecting them and schooling them and telling them, no, you need to better yourself. Stop making yourself available to these pookies. No, know what we do, black women? Soon as you find out your black daughters are pregnant, you go and you throw them a baby shower. And you invite they baby daddy pookie who don't even bring a dollar store gift. Black women are quick to promote fuckery shenanigans. We do it all the time. I'm tired of black women that are constantly celebrating baby showers from their daughters getting knocked up by pookies. Ishmael is delusional, thinking they try to change Pookie to a good guy, but they give up a good guy to begin with. It's retarded. Absolutely, Ishmael, I agree. Black women, we are constantly supporting fuckery. We're promoting fuckery. Your daughter get pregnant, you the first one to throw her baby shower, even though she don't have a husband, even though she didn't even graduate high school with a GED. You going around here bragging about being a grandmother, not even understanding now your daughter is going to be another statistic, another broad living off the system, another broad with a deadbeat ass baby daddy. As a black woman, you already know your struggle. Why would you want your black daughters to repeat the same struggles? You already lived it. You should be trying to teach them to go a different direction. I'm not understanding black women. Y'all okay with being grandmothers before you even 40 years old? You okay with that? Black women are quick to celebrate the struggle. Y'all the first ones to throw a baby shower for y'all unwedded young black daughters. Y'all the first ones to do it. Exactly. And my sincere, I don't know what it is, but I don't know if you notice my sincere, but I'm noticing there's way more single mothers throwing baby showers for themselves. Are you noticing that? Maybe it's just me. There's more black women throwing single mother baby showers. I will kid you not. Every time I go on Facebook, I have a little Facebook account, whatever. I see single black mothers posting baby showers, but ain't no father there. Ain't no, the daddy is nowhere in the picture. The decorations are beautiful, the balloons, the cake, the scenery, but I'm looking through all the pictures. I don't see a baby daddy. I see all the girlfriends there. I see the family there, but I don't ever see the baby daddy. How are we having all these baby showers, but the baby daddy is never there? I notice a lot of black women are doing that. Or they are throwing baby showers for their daughters, and the baby daddy ain't there. I see a bunch of women at the baby showers. Now, don't get me wrong. A lot of men don't do baby showers, and I get it. A lot of men are not crazy about baby showers. But these are women I know for a fact, they baby daddies be locked up in jail, in prison, and all of that. And they throwing baby showers. And get the thing about this ain't even your first child. This is like your third or fourth. You're gonna throw a baby shower every year when you get pregnant. My says a lot of black mothers are jealous of their daughter's freedom. So when it's taken away, they rejoice in it. And yes, I've noticed that ridiculous. I won't be seeing that one. I agree. I agree. And it's a shame, but you have some black women, they don't mind seeing their daughters fail. They're afraid that their daughters are going to be something that they never had the opportunity to be. And that is the God's honest truth. That is very sad. I have seen black women more supportive of their daughters when they get knocked up and pregnant versus when their daughters are graduating, joining the military, going off to college. I don't see black women making a skeptical out of that. But I notice as soon as their daughter get pregnant, they celebrating it like it's a joyous occasion. Knowing this baby daddy don't even love your child, knowing he's a child himself. I don't understand why black women are so fascinated with the wrong things. I don't get it. But my thing is, if you already are feeling like a failure, failures, failure will support failure. Because my thing is, I have a 19-year-old daughter. And I know I've seen what other black women have gone through. And that's why I made sure from day one, I preached to her. I told her, you do not have to become another statistic. You need to be building a career. You need to be establishing your life. You need to be independent. I stress that so she don't become another statistic. I'm not understanding why black women, y'all are not sitting down with y'all daughters. Y'all not coaching them. Y'all not teaching your daughters to stay away from these pookies, these builder bums. If anything, you encouraging your daughters to go with men who got money. We got a lot of black mothers who do that. You teaching your daughters to go after men with money and not letting them know that men with money, that don't mean they're good men. They can be abusive. I'm not saying go pick up a broke dude who don't want to work, who got nothing going for himself, but you intentionally telling your daughters to go after guys with money. They going after the drug dealers. They ain't going after the guys that's working honest, legitimate jobs. You taught your daughters to go after the ballers. So guess what? She messing with Pookie and Ray Ray, the drug dealers. That's who she dealing with. So, I can go on and on about this, but really, I'm going to get ready to shut it down. I just thought that it was imperative that I talked about this because I am so fed up with us as black women. We are so content with the struggle. And when the struggle becomes too much, now we want a Captain Saver. And I agree with that. Two peace and love. Start raising these pookies. A lot of black single mothers are doing that. Y'all are raising y'all sons to become another woman's nightmare. A lot of these black women, y'all are raising y'all sons to still be mama's boys. Y'all raising y'all sons to be y'all husbands. I know a lot of black women who do that. They making a son their husband. He can't even get a girlfriend of his own. He can't even get a wife of his own because you too busy trying to be his girlfriend and his wife. You have a lot of them that's doing that. You have a lot of black women that are infatuated with their black sons to the point they treat their sons like their husbands. You would think they incest. I've heard black women talk about how sexy their sons are, how fine their sons are. I've heard black women tell other black women, my son is my man crush Monday. Who does that? Nothing wrong with saying I love my son, I got a handsome son, but a lot of these black women, they go on and on about their sons like they infatuated with them. They cuddle these overgrown they cuddle their pookies, and you know what happens? Young pookies become overgrown pookies. These are the pookies who are 40 and over and still living with their mother. These are the pookies who learn to live off of women as a means to survival because their black mothers have enabled their pookie behavior. I know some black women, they are scared of their own sons. They won't even make their sons go take the trash out. I know black women who up here, their sons are 2, 3 years old, and their sons are dressing like they got their sons dressing like they 15. Why is your son only 2 and 3, could barely walk, and you already got a gold chain around his neck? You're not worried about him crawling and missing. He grab on something and that chain chokes him by his neck. You got him dressing like your baby daddy because you still in love with your baby daddy. You got your 2, 3-year-old son dressing like him. A child's supposed to be dressing like a child. Y'all got these little boys, only 4, 5 years old. Y'all got them dressing up in expensive Jordans and all these expensive clothes. Then when he becomes 15, 16, he need to work and take care of himself so he can continue to provide for himself and get that stuff. He don't want to work because he used to you buying it for him. It's a lot of that. Yes, we have a lot. The most of the Pookie population comes from black women. Bottom line. Yes, I would say some of these daddies, I hold them accountable too. You do have some men who have walked away and left the bag on her, and it wasn't 100% her fault. But in most cases, it's our fault. Y'all raise these grown men to become another woman's nightmare instead of another woman's blessing. And now any woman he get, the moment she don't do what he say do, he writing her off or he abusing her or cussing her out because he done become such a mama's boy. Yeah, we have a lot of that going on. Black women, stop raising your sons to be pookies. Stop overly sexualizing them by telling them how fine they are, by telling them how good they look. Teaching them all this materialistic lifestyle. And then when you're in a position you can't work and you can't provide and give them the things that they used to you giving them, now they out here robbing for it. They're stealing for it. They're killing for it. A lot of that. Because what I realized, the reason why a lot of these single mothers give their kids so much, and there's nothing wrong with giving your kids the best. I think any parent who loves their child is going to make sure their child has everything they need. But at the same time, a lot of black single mothers, they give their children the best out of guilt. Bottom line. You on Facebook bragging about, oh, I brought Pookie this, and oh, I brought little JJ that, and oh, JJ got his first car. You bragging and doing all that extra stuff because the bottom line is the baby daddy, he don't give a damn about you and your son. And you feel like the only way you could escape the hurt of him not giving a damn is by acting like he got the best of everything. Black women, stop using materialistic things as a way to compensate for the fact that you effed up by choosing a shitty ass man to be the father of your son or daughter. You think you can make up for it by buying them all this expensive stuff. And you realize all this stuff still don't keep them out of jail, still don't keep them out of prison. You think you can make up for the loss of not having a father in their life by buying them everything. And wrong answer. And a lot of women, a lot of black single mothers who give their children the best, it has everything to do with the fact you give your kids the best out of guilt. Because you know you had them from an ain't shit dude. So your only way of trying to make yourself not look bad is by buying Pookie and JoJo the latest fashions of everything. Because you don't want it to look like your children are being deprived of not having a real father. So you sit up here and you buy your son and your daughter, you buy them all this expensive, extravagant stuff. I know this one woman, uh, she had her child from a married man who never wanted nothing to do with her daughter ever. So you know what she does? She puts her daughter in the most top-notch university, puts her daughter in Yale, struggling, prostituting, doing all kind of stuff, you name it, to make sure her daughter don't have to feel that hurt of not having a father in her life. A lot of black women, a lot of y'all are doing it. Y'all think y'all can compensate for shitty decisions by buying your children all this materialistic stuff. That's not going to replace it, boo. It is what it is. Black women, we are the highest consumers. We the main ones buying all this expensive, extravagant stuff for our sons and our daughters because that's your way of trying to rub it in your baby daddy face that you don't need them. And the truth is, you do. The truth is, you do. And you hurting that he ain't there for you. And you think you can make up for it by buying your kids all kind of stuff. Wrong answer. A dollar cannot replace a father. And I understand nobody wants to see their kids raggedy. Nobody wants to see their kids suffering or lacking. But the truth is, a lot of us as black women, we buy a lot of extravagant things for our children because we want to prove a goddamn point. We want to prove a point. We trying to prove that I can make it without you. I can do it without you. If you already doing it on your own, you don't have to keep trying to prove a point. The problem with black women, we always trying to prove a point. We always want to one up. Oh, I'm going to show him. He think because he got a new wife, a new life, I'm going to be over here, me and my kids going to be struggling and hurting. Me and my kids, I'm going to show him. I'm going to show him. Me and my kids don't want for nothing. And it's all just a facade. Because the truth is, you hurt and you angry that the man done moved on. That the man ain't running behind you about his child anymore because he don't feel like all the drama and the shenanigans. A lot of men want to be there for their children, but they can't be there for their children because dealing with the mama is too much drama. But these women will sit up here and lie and say the daddy ain't shit. And the truth is, he don't want to be bothered because it's too much drama he got to go through to have a connection with his child. Do I blame him? No. But then a lot of black women, we will sit up here and twist the narrative and say, oh, he don't give a shit about the kids. He don't give a damn about his son. He don't give a damn about his daughter. No, he don't give a damn about putting up with your goddamn drama to be a part of his kid's life. And if it takes having to kiss your ass to be there for them, he say, you know what? I'm done. Let me send my money, my child support, and I'm going to keep it moving. I'll get up with Junior later. I'll get up with Kiki later when they old enough to where I ain't got to go through you to deal with them. Stop lying to these children, telling them their daddies ain't ish and their daddy ain't nothing. He ain't nothing because you too goddamn much. You a drama queen. He calling to ask about the kids. You want to bring up stuff from 5-6 years ago. I ain't never got over when you left me for her. I ain't never got over when you broke up. She's still talking about the breakup 5-6 years ago. The man ain't calling to discuss no breakup. He calling to check on his son. He calling to check on his daughter. All that other stuff goes out the window. Black women, we got to stop being messy. Stop getting in your feelings because a man don't want you anymore. That is the biggest problem with a lot of us as black women. We cannot handle rejection. When a man say he don't want us no more, we want to hold him captive to that. But the problem is when we want to let go of a man, we want him to get the hell on. We don't want him bothering us when we tired. But when a man is not supposed to be tired of us. We're supposed to only be tired of them. What's up, Matt V? Matt V said, I'd rather see my kid at 18 after living my life with peace of mind. Her mental issues can affect your mental health if you let it. Absolutely. I have told men several times, stop using your kids as an excuse for a woman to stress you out. You got to beg her. You got to plead with her. You got to run behind her to see your child. And meanwhile, she's getting off. She's getting off on making you miserable because she's miserable. She got to place that energy somewhere else. The problem with a lot of us as black women, the truth is, so many of us are so bitter. We have to place that bitter energy on somebody else so we can feel good about ourselves. It's like, I'm miserable. I hate where my life is going. So I'm going to make everybody else around me miserable. As black women, we have to get control over displaced anger. Just because certain things in your life ain't going right, you ain't got to go and make everybody else pay for it. I have had girlfriends I've been friends with for years. I have had to cut friendship off because I got tired of females wanting me to be miserable because they was miserable. Bringing me down because she feeling down. I got tired of that. It has gotten to a point to where black women can't really bond with other black women. There really is no loyalty in the black sisterhood. Black women cannot really bond with other black women. We can't because there's too much competition. There's too much anger, exactly, energy vampires, like Dangerous Television said. There's just too much of that going on. I don't have hardly any black female friends. I think I may have two. The one that I did have, she died. And me and her was really, really close. But for the most part, black women cannot bond with other black women. There's no, I don't know why so many black men think that black women, we all have each other's best interests. Like we all will co-sign on each other's fuckery shenanigans. It is far from the truth. Black women don't have no loyalty among each other like y'all think we do. That went out the window years ago. Black women are not loyal to other black women. Black women are only loyal to other black women that are in the same line of struggle that they are. And even with that, there's still going to be, some undercover animosity. My sister said, I don't have time for nobody's BS. You better get on with that. No, ma'am. Exactly. I definitely don't entertain it. I've been out the business. That's why you're not going to catch Mocha doing too many panels with other females and stuff like that. I don't get caught up in the YouTube shenanigans with all these females who's creating all these movements and spaces for women on YouTube. I don't get involved in that because I've seen these women 1 minute they for each other and the next minute they fall out. I don't want no parts of that. Black women do not bond with other black women. It's just not the same anymore. It's just different because it's too many black women that are undercoverly hating on black women that have made better decisions than them. You have black women that are single mothers that are mad with the black women that are married. Oh, she thinks she all that because she married. Well, she married and she don't know what her husband doing. You don't know if your husband cheating on you. I have black women hating on me just because I'm a married black woman. I done been through that several times on YouTube. I done had single mother female subscribers come at me because they hate the fact that I give content going in on single mothers. But my thing is, if you are happy with being a single mom and you are content with your choice, why are you letting my opinion affect how you feel about your life? If you're really that sure of your decision, then why are you getting angry? I notice black women are only angry about their decisions if they're not really sure of themselves. Because think about it. If you are really sure of your decision, you're not going to get offended by what other people got to say about black women. For instance, as a black woman, if you are happy that you are a single mother, if you are truly happy that you made that choice, why are you in your feelings with other people who discuss single mothers? Third word says the real men in the space appreciate you and your raw, honest views and truth. No black men and black women at Mocha's Cafe de Paris. We definitely need more like-minded women like you in this space. I appreciate that. Appreciate it. The truth is just needed. Ain't no need of sugarcoating it at this point because black women, we are at a state of an emergency. We don't have time to be playing with it no more. I am tired of seeing sisters fail over and over and over. And the majority of our failure is based on our own stubbornness and cockiness of this. I know it all and I got it all figured out. But at the same time, you're in poverty and you struggle. And you're mad at other black women who chose a different direction, who chose to take a different path. A lot of that goes on with black women. That's why certain black women could only befriend certain black women. Most black women that are in poverty, 9 times out of 10, she's going to kick it with another sister that's on the same level of poverty as her. She's not going to deal with another black woman that's doing better than her. You know why? And I realized that. I had a friendship one time where me and the female, we were on the same level, but at the same time, we wasn't. She decided to make decisions in her life, that I didn't make. And what happened was the decisions that she made became very overwhelming to her. And what happened over time, our friendship got tested. And because I didn't put myself in a situation like she did, I didn't put myself in a stressful, overwhelming predicament like she did. What started happening was my peace began to agitate her chaos. If that makes any sense to anybody in here. The fact that my life wasn't as overwhelming and stressed out because I made the decision to not have multiple children. I made the decision to go into my career of law enforcement while she chose to be a single mom, whatever. My stress don't, I mean, I won't say that my life is perfect because far from perfect. I got stress too. But my level of stress was not as extreme as hers. And what tends to happen is this is the reason why Black women can't really bond, because what happens is your success will start to remind them of their failures. That's why you're not going to catch a non-successful Black woman around another successful Black woman. It's not going to happen, because that successful Black woman, her accomplishments is going to make the non-successful Black woman feel insignificant. So you know what? The Black woman that's lacking with low self-esteem, she's going to hang with other Black women that lack low self-esteem because it makes her feel confident. Pull you down. She's not going to want to try to come up. She's not going to ask you, well, girl, how did you do it? I would like to do what you did. I would like to make a better choice. I would like to learn what you did so I can possibly, benefit. I would like to get into what you get into. No, she's not going to say that. What she's going to do is throw shade. She's going to shade your success. She's going to shade your success. That's all. She's going to definitely shade your success. She's not going to try to learn from your success. She's going to shade your success. She's not going to want to try to come up to your level. If anything, she's going to want to try to bring you down to hers. And that's just the bottom line. But anyway, I know I've kept y'all long enough. I've been on here for like an hour and 52 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and shut it down. I definitely appreciate all of y'all for supporting me. And yeah, I did have a phone call. My daughter just called me. She's going to be going off the training as a correctional officer for a juvenile facility. So definitely wish her her best wishes on that. I definitely want her to do well into her career, so that we're supporting her for this new change that's going to be taking place in her life. So she's following my footsteps. I'm in corrections and she decided to go in corrections. So as Black women, just realize that it's up to you to you can set the tone for the direction that your children go. Just because all your children see is negativity around them, you can still be the one to give them positive insight on life. You can show them how to go about a different direction. You can show them how to make better positive changes in her life. So definitely big ups to my daughter, and I'm going to be praying that God sees her through this journey, because I know the academy can be very brutal because I had to go through it. So I definitely wish her the best on that. But on that note, I definitely want to appreciate each and every one of y'all for supporting me, rocking with me. Shout out to all my sisters, who hung out in my chat room with me today. I went in, but it's all love. And if it doesn't apply, you ain't got to reply. But if the shoe fits, then damn it, wear it. Kick rocks with flip flops. That's how I'm gonna put it at that. So on that note, I definitely want to thank all of you. I want to thank everybody who super chatted, who donated to me. I thank y'all for the support. if you can, the issue is there's not enough of black women that are preaching real knowledge and that are really putting positive content out there for black women. We're not getting enough of support. It's always sisters that are just hanging out in the man spaces that are, manipulating their way into, hanging out in man spaces and stuff. These are the women that are being supported. There's not enough of women that really have good knowledge and good content. We're not getting all the support that we truly need. So in any type of way that y'all can continue to support my movement, I definitely appreciate that. And you don't have to just support it by sending money. You can support it by sharing it. You can support it by mentioning my content to other brothers, that are doing well in the man spaces. You can also put in a good word for me and just put my name out there. And that will mean a whole lot. So if y'all could at least do that, I will be very, very grateful. But anyway, it's your diva and knowledge. Remember, I'm going to always pour you a cup of truth, and I'm going to always break you off a slice of knowledge. Don't forget, those of you who haven't got cable, I sell cable. If you have a Fire Stick, and if you have the internet, I got 10,000 channels that I sell for $26 a month. 10,000 channels. That's included with free pay-per-view events. So for anybody who's interested in getting cable, this is my information. This is my email, cafe de paris 79 at yahoo.com. If you want to get cable today, I can connect your cable within 5 minutes if you have an Amazon stick. Also, for those of you who want to support my movement, my cash app is Diamond Girl. Again, this is also the no fuckery zone, promoting knowledge, not garbage. Y'all be blessed and take care. This is your girl, Lady Mocha. I'm signing off.